We are at South Point Casino because there's no better time than on a Saturday at a casino to discuss tax and finance with people trying to have a good time. Actually, this is the time to have a good time. My mom loved it here, and Harrah's. Harrah's was when she told everyone she was going to Vegas. This was her getaway spot. And the point is very simple. You make your money, you do what you want with your money. But the tax guy's gonna want his, her, or their cut. One of the things I discovered in handling her estate was how successful the state of Missouri was, specifically the group that invested for public school employees. My mom was a 30-year teacher, very influential in the community, but more importantly, her legacy, what she wanted to leave her son, was cared for properly by the people that were in charge of her finances. So, unfortunately, she's gone. But the work she did, it provides for me and allows me to do silly things like this, which really equate to my purpose. Talking to you about things I know, and hopefully it provides a little bit of help. So, let's talk about retirement and finance and taxes. We're all going to, unfortunately, pass away. That's just the way it is. And when we pass away, at least from the perspective of tax, the first thing is you only have a Social Security number to track your earnings, right? That's the reason why any of us have a Social Security number, is to track how much money and withholdings the government has gotten. When you pass away, your Social Security number becomes an EIN. And any income that you make, the salary that was supposed to be paid, and so forth, becomes what's called income with respect to the decedent. So your Social Security number when you pass away is gone as well. And then you get that EIN. From that point, your estate, or that person's estate, needs to be closed. There's a specific time duration to do so. And of course, the valuation of certain items, property and stocks and things of that sort. So it's a process. Now it's just mathematics, and it's care, and it's also diligence. So if done properly, there should be, from the tax perspective, financial perspective, very few issues. Now, certainly there's the emotional component. I can speak to that. So when you select someone, you're going to want to keep that in mind. And people that call me, I have an intimate knowledge of what it's like as I am going through that process right now. We're going to sit at the pool and relax a little bit. One of the things, you make that noise when you get a little older. One of the things that's really important when you work for 20, 25, 30 years, and you're trying to leave something for son, daughter, and loved one, etc., business, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you preserve the maximum amount of value for those you're leaving it to, and the least amount to the government, who they don't need it in the whole grand scheme of things, and we all know that. So it takes a bit of planning. What's interesting is my mom worked for the public, and I take a special interest in those that do the same thing. Police officers, firefighters, teachers, janitors, anybody that provides service for all of us deserve a special degree of respect. EMTs, these are people that from 9 to 5 is for you and me. So that's just the way that is. So I was, the other week I was talking to a gentleman at the Cigar Lounge in Long Beach. His name's Chris, happens to be with the LAPD, 25 years, etc. And we got talking about finance. What's interesting is this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form, other than to say you need to be very diligent in looking at what is being invested for you in your retirement. You have complete control over what's paid to you in your salary consistently. How much control do you have over your investment portfolio that is the legacy of work you do over your career? It's an interesting question, and certainly the advice I would provide to you is spend endless amounts of time in that area. As I spoke to this gentleman, Chris, we got to talking about a specific portion of his retirement basket that was for many, many years a great deal because the interest was higher than what it is currently. However, as we all know, at the time of this video, the Fed has increased the interest rate substantially over a very short period of time. And as a result, just in kind of looking at that investment for him specifically, it's not such a good deal right now. And in fact, what came to light was they're owed money, or he's owed money. Because if the interest goes up and, you're supposed to receive it, the question becomes, well, if our interest rate is higher than what you're paying us, who's keeping the difference? And I just made the point to Chris, hey, Chris, listen, you served us, right? You went out on all the calls, you put your life on the line, you're providing for your family. If there's money there for you, it should be for you. Simple point. And again, I'm not a financial professional, but that's the way I see it. His retirement is a bit different than my mother's. They're all, slightly different. The difference between Missouri and California is the difference between Missouri and California for teachers and police officers. So the point being, whatever your deal, even if you're not a public employee, so to speak, should be reviewed constantly, quarterly, weekly, to see if there is a change or a call that needs to be made to someone. In essence, the where's my money call. Hey, where's my money? That's never a bad call, especially when you're talking about what you've earned over a lifetime. I certainly hope the Chris's and the, whatever your name is, if you've worked for your money, I want your money to work for you. So I talked to Chris and yeah. Oh, okay. I'll head out. You all have a good day. Yes, ma'am. So we're going to head over here and continue our little chat. They've worked a long day in the sun and they deserve to go home and relax. So in talking to Chris, one of the things he mentioned was the control that he and others in his profession have over the stock portfolio. And we just got to gabbing about the stock Apple. And, Apple's a very popular stock, but really, this is not about Apple. This is about any stock or any investment that you may have. It needs to be watched constantly. There's a term on the market called lazy long, and it simply means that you think you buy low and you sell high and it's automatic. That's not the case. I think they're closed, brother.
Are they?
Yeah, they just kicked me out, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go into the gym here. I'm gonna finish our discussion because this is an important point. Beautiful spas and everything here, and kind of seeing the facility, which is good. We're kind of chatting up about Apple. Here's the thing. Lazy long is never the way to be. You actually must be active in your portfolio, at least with respect to watching price action and historical perspective. So when I was speaking with Chris, and this is just his statement, he said, I cannot wait for the stock Apple to go up to 200. I said, okay. And I started asking him a few questions about what his knowledge on the stock Apple and historical price action was. And, for the most part, he didn't have a great deal of knowledge. So, and that's, listen, this is not about what he does not or does know on the stock market. It's about his family getting the most money. So I just want to make this point because these are items that your financial professional should absolutely follow. So let me just ask Siri. Hey Siri, what's the all-time high for the stock Apple? I don't know if you can see that. But what that's saying is that it hits an all-time high, and it's up 46% this year. That's of 6 days ago. I think you can see that. Yeah. So, that's not really, I'm a member proudly, and also that tape there is indicating that I need to get a new sticker. At any rate, let's look at this seriously, shall we? Because I can only do so much dancing at my age. And, at the end of the day, we're here to save money. Ripper outfit, lady. Ripper outfit. So, we're talking about Apple. Obviously, I don't want you to see my private information on my computer like all of us. Okay, here we go. So I just Googled this, today. Same question I asked Siri, and it is confirmed 180.96. And then, just to get a little bit more specific, if you look here, you can kind of see, a little bit of the historical perspective on Apple. The all-time high, if you want to look at it that way, was maybe 182 in price action the other day. There's the gym over there, and you see people there. So I think the high was 182, but then it slid back down. So the point I'm making is that's a lot of movement. Now, last year, the stock Apple, and I was on record as saying this, should not be purchased until it was at 133. And people thought I was foolish for a very long time. And I was wrong. Yes, ma'am.
We're actually closed.
Oh, you're closing? Goodness gracious. Let me get out of your way, ma'am. You have a great day. All right, I'll get on out of here.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. You gotta go home to the old family,
Yep, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You too. So, as we're talking, he says to me, hey, Paul, I can't wait for Apple to go up to 200. Well, you just saw what Siri and Google said. It's up 46%. So if we're hoping for it to go from, this number here, all-time high, to 200, that's quite a move, That's quite a move. Also, he's retiring in 3 years. So, I watch the market and Apple, and Apple last year, I predicted to go to 133. I was wrong, went to 132 and some change. And so you kind of got to know, actually, it went a little lower than that. I know there's a little bit of chaos, but at least we're at a place where we will not be stopped from our discussion, which of course is important. So I apologize for the noise, but as you know, I can get it done anywhere. Oh yeah. You make that noise when you're a little older. It's the joints kind of warming up and cooling down, all that good stuff. So the point is very simple. Is Apple going to go to 200 in the next few years? Because Chris is planning to retire in roughly 3 years. I don't know, because I don't know anything about stocks. What I do know is he needs to make a decision about when to sell or buy more, as he is planning with his money to sell all of his stock. I think he has a basis of, say, $60. Okay? So, 25 years is a long time to put in work and throw it in Apple. What's the point I'm making? It's actually very serious. Look at this. Okay, I want you to look at this. if I can ever get to it. You see this here? Okay, this is Apple. This is when you start really analyzing the flow of the market. You see this number here? 123.81. That little wick there on a candle. Well, what it means is this. And there's the price of Apple. I think you can see that today, right there. So ultimately what this means is, if we're looking at it, that, it's me, hi. What that means is that Apple will either go up or down. But if you're Chris and you're thinking it's gonna go above the highest price of all time, when it's up 46%, that's a bet. That's a bet. Now, you just saw where it went down to 123 and some change. The difference between where it's at today and where it was just, a few months ago, year, roughly, is $57.14. Now, that's a big difference in one stock. It's a big difference. If you had 5,000 shares, that swing, that plus minus, $285,700. Yeah. So, I don't know if you're Chris, but I know what Chris said. I'll take all the business cards you have, and me and my boys, the police, are on our way to see you. Meaning, we want to talk about this because that's a long time to put in work and not know when to, in essence, pull the ripcord. Also, you may be betting on something that can't happen. I mean, if you're thinking Apple's going up to 200 based on where it is today, and this is just an example, you're saying that the financial conditions with Mr. Jerome Powell and the Fed and quantitative tightening and adjusting the interest rate, which economists say is not possible outside of America at the same time, you're banking on a lot of conditions to be perfect and to continue in a way that may or may not. To give something that you've worked for a very long time to those that will carry on your legacy. You need to have robust discussions with people that know about these items. I know Chris is, and he's going to make whatever decision is best for him and his family. And that's the way it should be, right? If you're working and you're going in his case, that crack house in Compton, and risking your life, number one, interest on an account that went up because of conditions in the world should be yours. Number two, if you have to make a decision on a basket of securities like an Apple, you need to know Apple. And if you do not, you need to know someone that knows Apple. Or whatever investment we're talking about. That is financial planning. However, as you know, when you earn income, there's the taxation of that income. Well,